Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new pick a card reading. Today's reading we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at what is going on in this relationship, or with the picture that's falling down in my background. What's going on in your current relationship? Now this could be a relationship with a romantic relationship. It could be a relationship with a family member. It could be a relationship with a friend. You'll need to apply the messages as they resonate for you. My intent though is this to be more of a romantic relationship check-in, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, you'll just need to change the messages as I said. Now, I'm going to show you 3 different cards to choose from. The cards I'm getting you to choose from the Your Feelings Are Valid Oracle deck. And then we will get straight into your reading and find out what's going on. So we're going to be having a look at what's going on for you, what's going on for your partner, as in kind of the reality of the situation rather than kind of what you think is going on, and which might coincide with what you think is going on. And we're also going to get a word of advice for you as to what's going on as well, which will hopefully be helpful for you. If you would like to get a personal reading with me that is tailored to something specific for you, you can find my details in the description box below to book a reading. If you'd like to leave me a tip, you can do so as well. The details are below. You can also support my channel by giving this video a thumbs up, by leaving feedback if you'd like to, and also subscribing and sharing this video if you feel inclined to. All right, beautiful souls, without any further ado, I'm now going to show you the 3 different oracle cards that you have to choose from that are going to be linked with your reading. I'll see you on the other side. Hello, beautiful souls. So here are the 3 different oracle cards that you have to choose from to coincide with your reading. Now, the words may or may not kind of fit with what's going on for you. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. But in saying that, I don't want to give you too much advice around this because it's unsolicited. And also because I think you should just go with what you're intuitively drawn to, okay? And that's about it. So if you need a little bit more time to make that decision, I will get you to pause the video because I am about to start the readings. Before I do though, I might show you the cards a bit more closer up. So this one is resentments. There's a lot of feeling, there's a lot of like kind of, yeah, I'll go through the cards more when you pick them and we talk about them. We have wishes fulfilled, which will be pile 2, and we have slow down, which will be pile 3 with these beautiful cats. Okay, so there you go, lovely people. I'll leave it with you and I'll see you in a second. Hello, pile 1, or for those of you who chose resentments. Resentments is pretty heavy. I kind of feel like here, this situation is maybe heavier than it needs to be, is what I'm getting here. But I feel like there's been boundaries that have been crossed because we have some major arcanas in here, okay, which are lessons, karmic lessons to be learnt, right? But let's look at resentments first. When I look at this card, what I'm automatically picking up is that there is, to me in this reading, this feels like it's a portal, and it feels like it's a portal from pain into healing, and also not into just healing, but into the unknown, into the cosmos, into something very different and freeing and just evolutionary is what I'm getting here. But I feel like there's been pain that's come with this, right? I feel like this bit here, the beige color, I feel like that's maybe what things have felt like, or maybe there's been a real need for there to be a shift in the way things are seen, and that there needs to be a shake-up in everyday living or what is happening, or kind of like routine. Something here needs to change so it's not beige anymore, okay? There's nothing wrong with beige, but look at this cosmos that is there waiting to be seen and experienced. It's a whole new adventure, and it may feel painful or like dangerous to go through that because there's this barbed wire here, right? So it's like some of you are kind of stopping yourselves from walking through this portal, walking through this change, walking through this real need to move away from beige, because you fear pain, right? But what I'm really getting here is that in order for you to let go of resentments, there's quite clearly resentments in this relationship, there needs to be a shift, and that shift needs to be into trusting the process of the cosmos, of the universe, of God, whatever it is that you believe, and really letting go of resentments because they're holding you back. And I know that's easier said than done in theory, but it's your choice, right? So let's really get into this reading now. So the overall arching energy I have for you two is the Seven of Cups and the Four of Cups. So what I'm feeling here straight away is I feel like there's some sort of like emotional fog here, or there's some emotional kind of choice in a way. It's kind of like there's all these options and all these different things that can happen, but either both or one of you are finding it difficult to see the forest from the trees is what I'm getting here. And with the Four of Cups as well, I feel like you particularly, the viewer, might feel a bit disappointed at the moment with kind of how things have unfolded. Maybe you feel really isolated and alone. But I feel like you're focusing more on that rather than kind of the bigger picture of what's happening here, because there's a lot of lessons to be learned, right? And I feel like this is kind of like you looking at all these different options and all these different paths, but I feel like you feel emotionally clouded. I feel like you feel emotionally depleted, and I feel like you just kind of you want someone to come and rescue you, or you want your partner to come and rescue you. And it's kind of, some of you, I'm going to be blunt in saying this because there's no other way of saying this, but there's a little bit of kind of like, there's this feeling of maybe being so disconnected from even just yourself that you can't see clearly. I was going to say a little bit of victim mentality here, but I think that's more so because inherently you are just kind of at a loss. And I feel like you want joy again, but you don't know which direction to go or what to do. So let's get more into the reading, right? So these cards here represent you. These cards represent your partner, okay? Let's look at what's going on for you. Please remember that time is an illusion and energy is fluid. So the message that you're getting right now as you're watching this video is in your current energy, which can shift at any time if you choose to shift it, okay? You have your free will and you can do whatever you want with these messages, okay? Nothing is concrete. So at the moment, we have the Four of Pentacles. I feel like this is you kind of just being I feel like this is the same person, to be honest with you. There's 2 fours here, 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. I kind of feel like this is you waiting for some sort of message from above to give you the clarity that you need. But I feel like at the same time, you're waiting for something to come that only is going to come from within, if that makes sense. It's almost like you're waiting for someone to go, oh, I'm so sorry, like that must be terrible for you, or for your partner to come and see you and go, oh, you know, I'm so sorry, or this must be so terrible. But this is you kind of like crying in the corner, and I just feel like you've kind of lost hope a little bit, and you've lost, I feel like there's a big disconnect between you and your partner. I really do. And that's making it very difficult for you to see things objectively. I feel like you're kind of just seeing them from your point of view because of how you're feeling, which is valid but not entirely helpful. We have the Empress clarifying. So I kind of feel like with you, you're generally like pretty good at being able to be a fairly nurturing person. To be really honest, I feel like there's a mother wound here for you that needs healing, is the biggest message I'm getting here. And I know that's getting very deep, but I feel like this represents kind of like your mother. And I feel like for some reason, I'm just picking up that your partner maybe hasn't been giving you what your mother needed to give you. And so therefore it's created kind of this turbulence or conflict or whatever that's going on for you, and has made you kind of just sit here, and it's like you're just waiting for nurturing to come. You're waiting for this person to come and nurture you. But the thing is, you need to be able to nurture yourself. This is about nurturing yourself, and therefore being able to be more connected to your partner, because maybe they feel really isolated and alone as well, I'm going to assume. But yeah, there's this big mother wound here, absolutely. So whether you have, when you have a mother wound, you basically try and find or expect your partner to provide that nurturing and unconditional love that your mother ideally should have given you. But no one can really give you that. Only you can give yourself that, because we're only human and we're all flawed, and we can't always show up perfect and shiny and have everything wrapped in a bow. That's the reality of life. And I think for some of you, you're finding that very hard to wrap your head around. So this is really about learning to nurture yourself, so that you're not reliant on other people, and also being more nurturing as well is what I'm getting here. Now, the next 2 cards are pretty like fast moving energies that can sometimes put their foot in their mouth, right? We have the Knight of Swords clarified by the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Swords is very, the Knight of Swords is all about kind of being in this energy of sending messages or communicating, and I'm going to go with it's your communication with your partner, because this is a partner reading. Your communication with your partner at the moment is not amazing. We have the Knight of Swords clarified by the Knight of Wands. Knights are not kings, okay? So knights are like street youths. Knights are like teenagers and early 20s people, right? And they mean well and they have a lot of energy, but they don't always know how to effectively communicate that energy or effectively use that energy, right? So I feel like what's happening here is you've got Knight of Wands, which is fire, and then you've got Knight of Swords, which is all about communication and head and logic and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like your communication at the moment is a little bit kind of rushed. It's a little bit sharp. It's a little bit fiery, and I feel like you're wearing a lot of armor at the moment. So your communication isn't going to be coming from a heart-centered place or a balanced place. It's coming from a place of feeling really hurt, unnurtured, and feeling very walls up, armored. I have to be kind of stand up for myself, and that's not helping move things forward, okay? It's not kind of useful in this situation. And I know this sounds really harsh, but if you've seen my readings before, it's not me having a hard time, giving you a hard time. Everyone can be like this, okay? And it's, if you take these messages on board, you can shift that energy and really learn from it, because these don't have to be negative cards, but there's obviously something transpiring here which has not been great, because that's why you're watching this. So we then have the Eight of Wands and the Five of Cups. So what I really feel like here is there's this energy here of being armored, being protective, maybe being a bit defensive, a bit fiery, a bit like not aware of your communication style and not thinking things through properly and just wanting to rush the process. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you just want to rush through whatever this is. You want to get to the finish line. You want to know what the answer is. You know, you want to, this is your speed. You want to know what's going to happen, because I feel like that's going to ease this anxiety that you're feeling here, right? But you can't change something if you're not getting what you want out of something. You need to change gears, right? Because I feel like this isn't working for you, to be honest. So you're trying to kind of rush a process because you feel really disappointed. Five of Cups. You feel disappointed. You feel left out in the cold. You feel like you're standing in some rain. You feel just like kind of disappointed. And those feelings are totally valid. But we've got to remember that feelings are just feelings, and just they are as valid as they are. It doesn't always mean it's the reality of the situation. It's just how we're seeing it through our eyes, right? So because of this disappointment, and because you're really focusing on what has been lost or what's making you really sad, you're trying to rush this process that you cannot rush, right? What I'm getting here with this card as well is I feel like some of you are not being really honest with what you're contributing to this, or what energy you're bringing into this. Because I feel like some of you are creating a lot of your own pain without meaning to, okay? So that's what's going on with you. With your partner, let's move over here. Let me roll over here. With your partner, this is kind of different energy. This person here, Two of Wands, this person here is thinking about what they're doing next. They're thinking about their next step. I feel like they feel very disconnected from you. They feel disconnected in this relationship, and they're kind of just thinking, what should I do now? What's my next step? Where do I want to go? And we have the Wheel of Fortune clarifying, which is a major arcana, which means this person is looking for major change. They want a big shift in their life. Things are changing for them in a big way. And I kind of feel like this person, that your partner is kind of like, are you coming along for the growth and the ride, or are you just going to stay here? Because this person is on a different trajectory to you, right? So this change is happening whether you like it or not, because it's a karmic card. So there's a big change happening for this person, and potentially for you, but especially for this person. So they're trying to make a decision around what that change looks like for them. We then have the Hierophant clarified by the Three of Swords. So I feel like for this person, your partner, I feel like they're feeling very heartbroken, because I feel like they may have kind of, they feel like they express their values to you, what it is that they kind of need in a relationship, what they're looking for. And it feels like those things have been unseen or unheard or not met, or maybe boundaries have been crossed that are really, really important to this person. Really important. This is the Hierophant. So this is all about, values, structure, ways of, kind of belief systems. And I feel like this person has very strong energy, and I feel like this person kind of knows what they want, and maybe they're re-questioning it because things haven't kind of, maybe, like I said before, maybe boundaries have been crossed, or maybe their wants and needs, they feel like they've been overlooked or set aside or compromised or not respected. Okay, it's pretty heavy. This person's really hurting. With the Queen of Wands and the Seven of Swords, right? So this person is really wanting to step into their power. Man or woman, or whatever you identify, or whatever your partner identifies as, this person really wants to stand in their power. They really want to start moving ahead with their life. They want to feel more in control of their life. They want to really start following their passions and what it is that they really want to get out of life, right? This is important to them. And I really feel like this wand represents them picking up a wand of like manifestation and going, what spells do I want to make to conjure the life that I want? Okay. Now, with the Seven of Swords clarifying, I feel like part of them might also be kind of like strategizing how this is going to come about, what the change is going to look like, what they need to make this happen. Because I feel like for a lot of them, they feel really defeated. This person feels really defeated and a bit kind of closed off as well. I kind of feel like with this particular Seven of Swords, this person has got two swords in front of him. So I kind of feel like that's representative of just starting to feel closed off, and maybe starting to go, okay, maybe I need to go my own way here, and I have my protection behind me, but I need to move forward. So I feel like with these people, they're starting to kind of strategize what they need to do to get back into their own power. I don't think it's like anything deceitful or anything that sometimes people can think the Seven of Swords is about. I think it's just about more preserving themselves and their energy and what their next step is going to be. Now, your word of advice as the viewer, we have an oracle card and we have two cards that are words of advice. So we have the King of Pentacles here clarified by the Magician. So, and I feel like they look very similar, these two people. This is saying that your advice is you really need to start stepping into this energy. You really need to start being man or woman, it doesn't matter, but you really need to start stepping into this more mature energy of a king. A king is really, really mature, right? It's mature energy, like the Queen is mature energy. This person already has this energy, I feel, but they're going to be stepping more into it, right? And they're trying to work out how they're going to do that. So I feel like this is you needing to step up and just really ground yourself, focusing on nurturing yourself, focusing on seeing the bigger picture, focusing on grounding yourself, and also realizing that you are a powerful manifester and that you do have, even if you feel out of control here, and even if you feel really down and like a bit of a victim, you don't have to be. You can rise up into this power. You can rise up into feeling more in control of your life. You have the ability to make choices. You have the ability to manifest what you want, right? But you need to get into that mindset, and you really need to own it as a king. Own it. Be a king. Be that in that king energy. Be that leader that you want and need to be, is what I'm getting here, okay? Now, I got you an oracle card from the Ascended Masters, and you got Pavati, positive change, which is really cool. Now, I kind of feel like this is pretty straightforward. I do feel like what this is saying here is if you can take on these messages and like step into your power, maybe this connection can work, because you do have a queen here. So your partner is a queen. I feel like you're more in knight energy at the moment, but that's kind of not going to do it for the queen. The queen needs a king, right? And you can be that king. But this energy is shifting, whether you like it or not. So let's read positive change, Pavati. Read it from the book for you. Okay, so it has, hold up. This also might apply to your partner as well, so take it as it resonates. Your likes and dislikes have changed, and you've outgrown situations that once appealed to you. These are positive developments signaling your spiritual growth. Some of these situations are blessings in disguise, as they're pushing you to make necessary and positive changes. You may feel pushed beyond your comfort zone as multiple areas of your life shift and flux. Yet the universe always stands ready to support you with whatever you ask for. Let go and enjoy this ride, because it's truly for the best. So pile one, I really hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you got what you needed out of it, and that this is giving you clarity moving forward with whatever decision you make. Remembering as well that it's really important to remember that time is an illusion and energy is fluid, so this can shift if you want it to shift. This is just messages to say where you're at and what you need to know, okay? Thank you so much for your ongoing love and support, pile one. I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile two, or for those of you who chose wishes fulfilled, this is your reading. Let's get into it. So, with this oracle card, I feel like this represents you, and I feel like this represents your partner. I feel like your partner is kind of wanting some sort of change that's going to bring more happiness and wish fulfillment. And I feel like you're unaware of that, or you're not kind of conscious of it, is what I'm getting here, okay? Because the sun has its eyes closed in this picture. Feel free to leave feedback and comments below. Please remember, people, that time is an illusion and energy is fluid. Okay, so this is your pile. This is your partner's pile. Let's get into it. So, oh, sorry. My bad. I didn't go into the energy at the moment. So the energy at the moment is the Six of Cups and the Three of Wands. So I feel like there's a lot of nostalgia happening. I'm not sure whether you guys are together or not. You'll need to take the messages as they resonate. But I feel like there's some nostalgia being shared here, but especially for you, because these ones are particularly meant to be for you. So there's some nostalgia here, but there's also like kind of waiting to see what happens. I feel a little bit like you guys are comfortable with where you're at in the relationship, but you also are kind of waiting for a change as well and to see what's going to happen. And I kind of feel like you're relying on your partner to make that change or to come up with a change or an idea, or maybe for some of you it might be about a reconciliation. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what's going on. So the World, Major Arcana. You at the moment are kind of trying to complete a cycle, or you're completing a cycle and starting a new one. And you feel confident about it, but not 100% confident about it, because I feel like you're unsure of what this new cycle is that's starting. I feel like some of you are aware, and maybe you're a little bit kind of scared or sensitive to what that looks like. I do feel like for some of you though, there's some kind of like excitement around this, but I also feel like for some of you it's maybe a little bit painful, okay? But let's look at the clarifier. So we have the Five of Swords. So yeah, it's a little bit painful. It kind of feels like a cycle is ending out. Maybe I'm going to read it as the whole relationship. I feel like there's a cycle ending in the relationship, and it feels like it's come at the cost of something. I kind of feel like this is your hand, and I feel like these like daggers or swords that are piercing are from your partner, but I don't think they're intentionally trying to hurt you. I think that the shift that you can feel that needs to happen is just a little bit painful for you. And I feel maybe there's been some words had between the two of you where you may have kind of said something that you later regret because you kind of don't know what's happening with the end of this cycle. All right. So you feel like you're in a little bit of a prickly position. And for some of you, as I said before, I feel like you're feeling particularly sensitive at the moment because you know there's this cycle that's needing to end out or be completed in order for a new cycle to begin, because the World is the last card in the pack. I think for some of you, change is really hard is what I'm getting as well. And I feel like you've been carrying this for a while. Maybe you've been knowing that this cycle has needed to end for a while, but it's just been heavy for you. The Two of Pentacles clarified by the Six of Wands. I feel like you feel like in two minds with this. I feel like you're probably juggling a lot of things as well. I feel like some of you might have a side hustle that you're trying to juggle or trying to work through. Because you want success to happen. But it's kind of because of this big change that's happening and new development, it feels like you're juggling a lot. So success is nearby, but it's almost like you're juggling too much, and it's almost like you're taking on too much, and you take on too much because you feel you need to succeed is what I'm getting here. What I'm getting here is you're safe as well with whatever this is. You're safe and everything will be okay in regards to financial stability is what I'm getting here for some of you as well, okay? But don't quote me on that. It's just a message I'm getting. With the King of Wands and the Page of Wands, I feel like I also feel like with these cards here, you're almost like your emotions are maybe a little bit up and down because you want success with this relationship and the end of this cycle, and you want to kind of know what's happening, but it's been really painful. Yeah. King of Wands, Page of Wands. I feel like you're trying to step into your power, but I think it's been like difficult for you because I feel like this relationship is very much attached to your self-worth. Got a lot of, these are fire. So we've got fire, we've got earth. So I feel like you're needing to step into the King of Wands power, and you want to, I feel like this is what you want in the newness, to feel more confident, right? Because I feel like for some of you, you are, like I said before, quite sensitive and maybe take things a little bit personally, and can sometimes be on the defense is what I'm getting for some of you as well. And so it's like you're learning to control your emotions, and you're learning to kind of realize your self-worth and really listen to yourself and what you need in order to feel more empowered, rather than just kind of relying on the relationship, is what I'm getting here, people. Your partner. Your partner is Queen of Pentacles and Six of Swords. Your partner is really wanting to ground themselves at the moment. They're really wanting stability. They're wanting structure. They're wanting to feel financially safe and stable. And maybe they're already in this energy. But I feel like as well, with the Six of Swords clarifying that there's movement more towards this. Maybe there's something has happened with finances, or maybe there's just been like some sort of conflict that you're trying to resolve and end and move into a new. But this person may even be kind of like a little bit in hermit mode, or spending a bit more time with themselves at the moment, because they're really needing to nurture themselves, because they want to move past any difficulties they've been. Even if it's difficulties within themselves, they want to be able to move past it and really kind of focus on themselves. With the Ace of Wands and the Two of Swords here, they're really wanting some kind of like new beginning that's passionate, right? And I feel like you do too, but they're kind of like in two minds about it. They're not seeing how this can come about, and I feel like they feel a bit conflicted to how this can come about. They feel the shift in the energy collectively, and I think they feel that you want this as well, but they're just a little bit closed off it. It's like they're closed off to it at the moment, because I think there's a little bit of fear around the momentum of it, or what that change is going to look like. I also kind of feel like they don't feel like they're in control of these swords. And I feel like they also want to feel like you can help them with this, and that it's kind of a team effort, if that makes sense. With the Four of Pentacles and the Lovers, another major arcana, they're really kind of holding their cards close to their chest at the moment. I don't think they're giving a lot away to you, and obviously that's why you're watching this reading. But there's some sort of choice that they're needing to make here. And I feel like it's about this relationship. So I feel like what I'm also getting here is I feel like some of them feel like they need a spark in the relationship, like they need a spark of some sort, like some renewed kind of passion or something like that. And I feel like that's there too for you. Maybe you've just kind of lost it along the way. Something's happened. maybe you've lost yourself and you're trying to come back to yourself, and this person is kind of patiently waiting and hoping and just kind of riding the waves. But yeah, they're holding things close to their chest. They're trying to stay really stable. They're trying to not give too much away, but yeah, they're trying to kind of decide what to do. They're trying to I think they're holding on to this connection, right? I think some of them really fear letting go of this connection. But there needs to be a spark here. There needs to be newness in this connection, is what I'm getting here for you, pile 2. Now, your word of advice, and it's interesting because you got wishes fulfilled. So maybe this is just all about newness. Maybe there needs to be like some sort of trip somewhere, or a new hobby that you can both share, or something where that you're both passionate about, that you enjoy, to bring more wish, fulfillment for both of you, I feel. Okay. Now, your Ascended Masters Oracle card is balance, career, and home life, Isis. So I feel like this is pretty straightforward. I do kind of feel that this might resonate with some of you. Maybe for some of you, you're kind of thinking about a new career. And maybe, yeah, let me know in the comments below if you feel to. Let me read this meaning out from the book for you, though, just so you can get like a more kind of unbiased take on it. If I can find it. Okay, here we go. So it says, you drew this card as a reminder to keep balance in your life. You can do this more easily than you imagine. You already know which part of your life is lopsided, and you may be feeling symptoms of burnout from this imbalance. You can rapidly shift your energy in positive ways by devoting each day to your priority. You can rapidly shift your energy in positive ways by devoting time each day to your priorities. Even 30 minutes a day spent in meaningful ways will lift your mood, morale, and motivation. There you go. It also says play is a much needed requirement for you right now. So yes, maybe there's not enough in this relationship. You will know. Okay, pile 2, I really hope you enjoyed your reading as much as I did doing it for you. I hope it's given you the clarity and insight that you've needed. Thank you so much for your ongoing love and support. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can find my details in the description box below, alongside all my social media platforms, my PayPal if you want to leave me a tip. And you can also support me by subscribing to the channel, giving it a thumbs up, and feel free to leave feedback and comments below. Thank you so much, pile 2. Bye. Hello, my lovely pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's get straight into it. So we're looking at what's going on in this relationship at the moment, remembering that time is an illusion and energy is fluid. Okay, so you chose slow down. This is a really cute card with the 2 cats, and one kind of representing the sun and one representing the moon. I kind of get this feeling of like yin yang. But take it as it resonates for you. It's really warming picture. It's really cute, and it kind of feels like this. There's something here that wants to be worked out or worked out, and that there's you complement each other. it's like you're not seeing eye to eye at the moment or something like that. Your current energy as you as the viewer, and it's probably collective and shared, we have the Hangman clarified by the Three of Wands. So what I feel like is going on here is the energy is of just being in limbo. You feel in limbo, you don't know what's going on, and you're just kind of waiting for something to happen. But sometimes I feel like you need to let go for something to happen, if that makes sense, rather than just kind of hanging around. But I kind of feel like this reading is going to be helpful for you in one way or another and give you this kind of moment of light bulb moment. So I hope that's helpful for you. I also feel like there's a lot of kind of self-worth attached to this relationship, and it's about really looking at it in a different way, in a new perspective. With the Three of Wands as well, yeah, looking at it in a different way, seeing the movement that's happening and just allowing it to happen, and as the Oracle card says, slowing things down a little bit. Maybe you need to just be in limbo because you need to slow down and take it a little bit easier. Okay, maybe for some of you it would be really great to go for a surf or to go and be by the beach or some water, because I feel like this is a pretty emotionally heavy reading. Let's get into it. So this pile here is representative of you. This pile is representative of your partner. And of course, it can be a collective energy as well that both of you feel. But to make it really clear, this is going to represent you. This is going to represent them. Take the messages as they resonate for you. So the Nine of Wands and the Eight of Swords. You are feeling very guarded. You're happy to move on. You're happy to keep going on this journey, but you're weary and you're guarded. You're very guarded. If you look at this person's face, they look very, very guarded. Well, that's what I feel anyway in this reading. But I'm really being drawn to this light here where there's still that passion and want and drive. It's just there's a feeling of tiredness. With the Eight of Swords, this is a heavy one. This is really being entrapped in your own head, overthinking, kind of being the victim of your own mind, like we are, we can be a lot of the time. That's just human condition and human existence. It's okay. So I kind of feel like you're not seeing that you're being trapped by your mind. And I feel like the crows or the ravens kind of represent your intuition not being clear because you're so trapped in your head. You're not spending any time in your body at the moment is what I'm getting here. So that in turn is making you feel really weary and tired and just kind of like you want to keep going, but it's hard for you to know which way to keep going or which direction to head is what I'm getting here. I feel like this has been a big journey for some of you as well. Please feel very free to leave feedback and comments below if you'd like to. Now, the Hermit, which is a major arcana, and the Chariot, which is another major, you've got 3 major arcanas for you in here, so which are karmic cards. So the Hermit, you are currently, or you're going to be really spending some time by yourself, or you need to spend some time by yourself to really reflect and think about what it is that you really want and what's meaningful to you, and just to get into a place where you're not in your head. This is solitary energy, and it's really important to have this in order to be able to see clearly and get the peace that you need and the space that you need to continue your journey is what I'm getting here for you. Now, we have something very conflicting energy with that. We have the Chariot, and the Chariot is all about fast moving energy. It's about wanting just to rush the process. I feel like for some of you, you feel very uncomfortable just kind of sitting, doing nothing and meditating, or just feeling your feelings. You don't want to do that. You just want to move straight ahead, get to the end of the journey, and that is what I'm getting here for you guys. Okay, so they're very, very different energies, but I feel like it's really important for you to learn to be in solitude, for you to learn to take the time out that you need to slow down, to find peace and not be in your head all the time, is what I'm getting here. The Emperor clarified by the Two of Pentacles. I really feel like you're wanting to come back into a place of feeling more in control of your life and maybe of just the whole situation in general. I feel like you've been on this weary journey for a while, and a lot of it's been in your head, and because you haven't had enough time to slow down, you've kind of lost yourself on the way, right? And you're trying to rush the process because you want to feel in control again, which is understandable, right? The Two of Pentacles, but you don't feel in control because you are just trying to juggle things at the moment. You're trying to juggle, trying to move really quickly and rush through the process and make a decision, or should I go this way or that way? And instead of just taking your time to get the messages you need from God or the universe or Gaia or whatever your belief system is, to then guide you to where you really need to be and what you really want, is the message I'm getting here for you, pile 3. Yes. Your partner, on the other hand, your partner, we have the Queen of Cups clarified by the Nine of Cups. So your partner is at the moment kind of in their feels, and they're basically feeling a lot. And the Queen of Cups is like pretty emotionally mature person. They're highly intuitive, they're deeply loving, and the Nine of Cups is kind of about the wish come true card and, you know, total kind of love within oneself, right? So your partner knows what makes their heart happy, and they might be deeply in love with you, or they're fiercely guarding, either way or both, or they're fiercely kind of guarding their own emotional peace and self-love at the moment. They have a vision of emotional satisfaction here that they desperately really want to hold on to, is what I'm getting here. With the Seven of Wands and the Moon, this adds a bit of a mix to it because this is a major arcana. They've got 2 major arcanas here. So this is, Seven of Wands is all about defensiveness. And with the Moon, this is all about kind of hidden fears and anxiety and illusions. So they're very, I feel like these people are kind of drowning in their feelings at the moment. And maybe that's causing them to be a little bit more defensive, or be defensive, is what I'm getting here. But this is really where the tension starts. And it feels like your partner is kind of fighting ghosts, and that they're feeling incredibly protective of themselves because of really deep-seated anxieties, illusions, or things kind of left in the dark that they have no control over, right? So they might be potentially projecting past traumas onto the relationship and feeling like they have to, you know, protect their heart, is what I'm getting here, against kind of unseen threat or deception that they feel is there, even if it doesn't exist, okay? Which is kind of a little bit what's happening here with you as well. With the Five of Swords and the Lovers, this is the Five of Swords is all about kind of winning at all costs, maybe words being spoken in anger, hollow victories, not a great place to be, right? So it's kind of like that. I don't remember what the saying is, whether it's like you've won the battle but you haven't won the war type thing. So maybe there's been words expressed to each other or amongst each other where this person has maybe kind of deflected a bit of their stuff on you, and it's just caused like conflict or arguments, and just like people feeling like they need to come back into their own sense of control or being, and you feeling like, and your partner feeling like they need to be more at peace, right? So there's this conflict going on. And it's interesting how there's, I'm going to say crows because they're crows in Australia, but ravens, whatever you want to say. These crows are in both of these pictures. So I feel like both of you are very heavily in your head, and that's what's creating a lot of conflict for you guys if that's what's going on, okay? I feel like this person might be a little bit more kind of conceited with how they deal with this kind of emotion and their feeling of a loss of peace, because I feel like because they're the Queen of Cups, you know, sometimes like emotions can be like used as daggers, if that makes sense. Obviously not consciously, because if we were conscious about it we wouldn't be doing it. But yeah, with the Lovers clarifying here, I feel like you guys might have recently had like a harsh disagreement or a fight, and they're trying to think about what they want to do next. They are thinking about whether they want to stay in the relationship, whether they want out, is what I'm getting here. Yeah, there's this feeling of, do I choose peace or do I choose to win this fight, is what I'm getting here. Which makes me feel a little bit sad, to be honest. I feel like I want to pull one more card for that final one to get just more kind of, yeah, Ten of Swords. This person is, your partner is really broken. Broken is a very dramatic word. They're very, very hurt. And that hurt, like as we said before, might not even be from within this might not even be from within this relationship. It might be just old stuff that they're dealing with or going through, but it's kind of being projected on you. So this is a difficult position to be in, and hopefully they become aware of that, but I guess that's their journey, right? Now, your word of advice, I didn't pull any words of advice for you as the viewer, but I'm going to do that right now for you. So if you can just bear with me for a second. Okay. So we have the Six of Swords and the Two of Swords. So I feel like as a word of advice, this is really saying that in order for you to kind of move to a more peaceful place, you need to be able to kind of see what's really going on here, which is what we just talked about, and take that kind of blindfold off your eyes, because I kind of feel like some of you are scared to see the reality of what's happening here and how it's really making you feel. So the advice here is, I think as well, to think about yourself and your self-preservation. because there's a lot of head stuff here, a lot of being in your head. And I think that also might be around you making a decision about what you want to make happen, because it's the power isn't in your partner's court. You can turn around and go, I want out, or I need this change in the relationship, or whatever, right? So you have the power as well, and your piece is just as important as their piece as well, is what I'm getting here. Now I've got to get an oracle card for you guys as well. Interesting. We've got father, husband, brother, son, Osiris. So there's obviously some sort of karmic connection here, or deflection, or counter transference that's happening between you and your partner, I feel. Let me read the meaning out to you from the book. That's kind of what I meant by, like, I feel like your partner is kind of projecting a lot of fears from their own trauma and past onto you, which is making it really difficult for you. That doesn't make them a bad person. It's just they're very fear-based at the moment, okay? So let's have a look at this. Let me get my hot water bottle out of the picture. So, okay. Here we go. Okay. So it says, this situation involves a significant man in your life. Your new relationships with men are affected by your old relationships with your father, ex-husband, boyfriend, brother, son, or other male. This is a perfect time for you to heal and release any old wounds connected to men in your life. God and the Ascended Masters will support you as you focus on letting go of old toxins such as anger, blame, or guilt. This clearing process opens the way for healthy relationships with men and your own male energy. Okay, so pile 3. I really hope you enjoyed your reading as much as I did doing it for you. Please feel very free to leave feedback and comments below. If you'd like to get a personal reading with me that will be tailored to whatever it is that you want to find out, you can find the details on how to book in the description box below, where you will also find my social media platforms should you wish to follow me on there, and also my PayPal account should you feel like you want to leave me a tip, but of course that is not expected. You can also support me by subscribing to my channel, giving the video a thumbs up, and also feel free to share this with loved ones. Thank you so much, pile 3. I'll see you in my next reading. Bye.